right. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Sorry, dealing with all kinds of stuff on Monday morning. Somebody's trying to talk. Somebody who doesn't use SEO um, is trying to now tell me how to use SEO, and I'm like, "Excuse me? Like what?" They're like, "I don't use it, but I didn't see the ad." It's like, okay, that's great. Like I mean, my wife didn't see it. I'm like, okay, great. Like, I don't know that you guys understand algorithms and Facebook. The more money you spend with Facebook, the more likely your ad is to be out there, right? You know. But, they're like I was like, "Yeah, the reason you see those other guys is because they do an ad every single month. So they spend a lot of money at Facebook. If you grease the palms of other people out there, you see more stuff." Um, Hold on one sec. Ah, sec. Hold on. Alright. Yeah, it's, like, unbelievable. One guy's like, "Well, my wife hasn't seen it." I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "Well, you're also comparing a page that we just created, and we kinda threw it up there with, like, 126 people to a group that has over 1,000." So, the way the algorithm works is, like, if you like a lot of posts, like, if they have a lot of likes on their posts because the sheer number of they want interaction. So, it's like they get more clicks because they have more people following, so they show theirs more often because they're looking for interaction. I'm like, I was like, you guys just don't get it. And like they're like, well, the thing is, like, they're not happy. They're like, oh, like it's a situation where like these guys are like, hey, there should be more here. Something's not right. It's like, no, 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 everything's right, guys. They just don't want you. It's not them. It's you. And it's like, seriously, you're like, "Oh, no, we should have had 8 million people sign up." No, why? For what reason? For what? Like, it's, like, unbelievable. And they're like, "Oh, no, you just do it. You should do it every day." I'm like, "Well, you wanna pay me?" Like, like a standard SEO person gets, like, $500 a month. I'm like, "If you wanna pay me $500 a month, I will post every day. But otherwise, no. No, I'm not gonna take extra time out of my day every day to do it. Like, get over it." Like, no. It's like, yeah, I love like the armchair quarterback. Like, it's just unbelievable. It's like I do have other things in life to do, guys. Like, I'm glad that you guys want to, no. Sorry, ranting. Got to get that rant out for the morning. I'm sure I'll get 6 other messages in the next 25 minutes about, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. It's like, okay, guys. Um, he's like, I would start by posting. Okay. Yeah. This is a guy that like, yeah, yeah, I'm just gonna ignore the thread at this point. He's like, "I would post every day." It's like, "No, I'm not posting every day." Yeah, when there's 26 hours in the day, I'll do it, sure. Yeah. Alright, so far in the last 24 hours, it looks like we have decent movement with the Aussie. Um, 40 pips is decent, right? It's the biggest mover, the Aussie dollar being up. For the most part, again, we're kinda seeing the trend of dollar weakness, although it's not really I wouldn't say it's extreme dollar weakness. I mean, euro dollar, pound dollar up 24 and 10 is really not that much. Dollar yen down 18, minus 115, you know. Um, you know, it's it's a Monday, right? It's Monday, August 1st. Or August 2nd. So there's really not tons going on. This ISM number coming in at 10, I think will be pretty interesting. Um, you know, it's even the news is kind of like, yeah, you know, China backed state owned enterprises with, rescue funds. Yeah, this is standard. Um, Really, none of it is just great. Germany can't find employees, right? Or I'm sorry, not Germany, the UK. Okay. Um, you know, let's see, unemployment coming. No. Oh, here you go. Look at this. There's an unemployment cliff coming. More than 7.5 million may fall off. Millions of jobless Americans are poised to leave COVID era income support in a month. Yeah, we talked about that before. Um, we know why the cliff exists. Iran is being blamed for more stuff. I think this is funny too because it's like, remember a couple months ago when Iran said, they're like, "Hey, listen, we promise we'll be good if you lift the sanctions." And what did we do? We started lifting all the sanctions. And did they behave? Not so much. Not so much. And I think this one is interesting too, right? Now I'm very curious. Stake out some different ground from Jerome Powell's policymaking awaits a presidential decision on who should lead the central bank in the coming years. She's considered a leading candidate, right? If Powell doesn't get a second term, right? The question is, will she get the second term just because she's female, right? Because remember, Biden made promises that he's going to put female in basically every kind of position he could. So would she get it? Um, I don't even think that she's really kind of the most. I don't know. Like I feel like she's not even the most vocal, right, of all of them. So I don't know. It's kind of interesting, and it's kind of another one of the ways to look at it too. Is like, do you remove Powell, right? Um, like obviously the crisis is not over. We're kind of in the middle of the process. It tends to be better to shift gears when something is past, not right in the middle, right? So it's kind of like, are we done or are we not done, right? If we're done, then sure, changing hands is fine. But if we're not done yet, as they say that we are, right? Because remember, we're not recovered yet. Is it the best idea to change, shift gears right in the middle of, because again, if hers is, I mean, they say it here, she's, she has some different ground here and believes on different things. Like, what will that do? Like, I don't know. I just feel like that would create a lot of uncertainty. So it's kind of like, I don't know. Not that I don't think Pal's the greatest person for the job. I mean, he's fine, but um, and I have nothing against her, but I just don't think shifting it to anybody is really kind of where we need to be. Um, but the question is, again, um, you know, she's considered a leading candidate, but why? She's typically not the most vocal, hasn't been there the longest. So yeah, I don't know. I do like how she's she is this right here has a greater willingness to adopt the central bank digital currency. I will say that is kind of what she's been leading on, which I think is great. I think am in 100% agreement. I'm glad that she's on board with that one. I felt like we are making the wrong decision by not being the first and not setting the example for everybody else and not establishing the guidelines. I do think having China do it is not necessarily the best way to do it. So I'm all on board. I love the fact that she's there, and I hope she remains extremely vocal about it. Again, I hope she's the driving factor for us getting it done. I think that would be huge, and extremely beneficial. So, yeah. So besides that, again, ISM is the only thing. Tomorrow morning is also slow, but again, we have the RBA rate statement that we gotta take a look at. And here's why. We've talked about how we don't expect them to be a change, but we do know that New Zealand was given like a 90% change. Check out this employment rate. The unemployment rate dropping from 4.7 to 4.0 tomorrow at 6:45. You got to be looking at that and be like, "Holy crap, that's zero point 0.3 percentage points. 4.4 is pretty low. That's good, right?" I mean, Aussie retail sales is expected to be down and things like that, but I mean, typically these two countries typically follow each other. I mean, one of them obviously is always delayed behind the other one a little bit, and Australia did have more of a lockdown the second time than New Zealand did. They've been a bit more protected, but holy crap. Like this is a heck of a drop tomorrow in the New Zealand. Are they going to mention that? And again, they can say, yeah, retail sales are down because and again, we expected retail sales to be down. The reason why is for their, largest 8 cities, they kind of locked them back down again. Just to avoid any kind of like crazy spreading of Delta, so we expected them to be lower. Like that was it's no. I mean, if this comes in at like -0.1 or -1, that's better than everybody expected. So it's setting it up for more of a positive kind of pop. What are they going to mention over here? And again, could they mention when the tapering is going to occur? And if they give us, hey, listen, because we did the lockdowns, things look great, we're back on track. There could be a big boom tomorrow, so it could be a boom, boom, boom day for the Aussie. And I think again, for any of you guys are staying up late, I think that's a decent one to trade tomorrow morning. So again, keep track of that one. Um, yeah. Besides that, there's not really a whole lot going on, and so we'll see what the trends are for the day. All right, let's start off with Aussie dollar. So Aussie's been pretty much straight up. Here's where we were yesterday. kind of in that gap area, and it came down. We were looking for it last week to give us a base, and it kind of did the base. It was a little bit higher. It dropped. It never really gave us a clean pullback, but it did push down. We had the opposing zone at 73.16 on the bottom side. Um, top side 74.05 is kind of where we're looking for shorts. And again, that's been an area you can see here. We had lower, lower, lower. Um, lot in there, right? A lot of sellers in there. They've done an okay job, but at that point, at this point, I think we really can't do a whole lot more. It's got about 40 more pips to go to the top side. Um, you know, it's just one of those things. Yeah, I mean it's fine. It's all right. But right now we're kind of just in this middle, a little bit of buyers here. Could there be a reversal? Sure. But as far as super clean levels, I mean that's all we really got. We're sitting in the blue area, so again, we know in the larger time frames we're not, you know, not a lot. And look at this. When I bring this back out a little bit, I mean I'm just kind of zooming. I was just trying to get the full kind of piece of it. Look how much time it's spent here between this 74 and 73.20. So it's really been kind of trending back and forth since what July 16th. So for like 2-3 weeks now we've been kind of in the same area with the upper side of it being that 74.04 level. So I would say look for that one. Maybe set yourself an alert to see if we can grab something up there. It'd be decent if we could get up there like at the end of the day. Maybe maybe take a shot at a call spread tonight. And again, I think there could be some explosions. And again, if they come in with if we drive up to there before that news tonight and they talk about how Delta's continuing to spread, we're going to remain locked down and give us that Dovis. Again, that should shoot this thing straight back down again. And so again, if we can cover that 30, 40 pips, we can base up there and not break through that level after Nadex contracts close. There could be a decent short entry, taking this back down. And again, that would be more. That would be. Let's see. Where are we at here? It would be kind of up in this level right there, somewhere along those lines. All right. Aussie yen. All right, so Aussie yen, we talked about 50.54. I'm sorry, 80.54 being an area we were looking for buyers, and you can see we kind of ended the week out there, right? That's where we more or less ended, and then we opened sitting right in here in the same level. And then again, it's going high. Unfortunately, it didn't give us a trade entry because where it ended, right? It ended right in the middle of the zone, so we were looking more for the long aspect of it. And again, it did push up and pull back again. It went a little bit lower, but again, if you were looking for something Nadex wise, you were more or less protected on that one. It hasn't been necessarily a huge mover. I mean, it's only about 20 pips from kind of where we closed this weekend. But I would say right now, I mean, it's got a pretty decent run to the top side. There's a little bit here, but the way that this just kept getting higher, higher, and higher, higher before finally dropping, there's probably a little hiccup there, but I wouldn't. It's probably not as bad. 81. I mean, it says 8103. Actually, I don't want to confuse anybody. Hold on, let me change this to there we go. Not that color either. I'll go yellow. There we go. 8103. That's the last time we really had any sellers with some decent movement coming out of the back. And it's similar to what we see in the Aussie dollar. If it pushes up 30 pips, it's got an area where it rolls. In here, kind of the same scenario. It's about 30 pips, 30.4. So I would say that that's really the next one on both. Isn't it extreme range in the Aussie dollar or the Aussie yen? No, it's not. But it's got, it's got plenty there. So, yeah, you know, um, not really much more we could do with it, right? Even the low area. I mean, we knew this was an area we wanted to go long from, but I mean, we don't really have a great established level here anymore because it could just kind of chop through. I would say problem is we kind of got this racetrack down here again. I would say we could use this same level and kind of see. Hey, listen, if it comes down here and it starts the base in it again. And I would say let's see where the base actually is. I wouldn't be surprised if the base is actually just a bit lower down here. If we can have this come down and base in here, I do think there is some type of a short option in here, and then we kind of push back down lower into that 79.80 range. But I'd like to see where it actually comes down and stabilizes itself, where we start getting some sideways movement, and that would be more where I'd be looking for a short. I wouldn't be taking it, blindly out of the backside, like when it breaks what 80.45. I wouldn't, wouldn't be looking for that one to drop. Um, I'd definitely wait for the pullback. I'd like to see the base and a pullback on that one to be able to take this one short. But right now, I'm kind of, I got my my Aussie pom poms on. If it gets up in the 81 range, 30 pips in either of these two, I think both of these are decent shorts, particularly for news tonight. Euro pound. So Euro pound was kind of running back up again. We talked about breaking through, and again, it did. It broke through here. on 30th, and then just continue to push. And then since that time, it is really just base. It's done nothing else. So, right now that trade is done. That trade is over. We're out. We talked about a rollover here, and it went just a little bit higher. It was decent. I would say that this one looks like again that it's starting to roll back. Um, back off. I wanted to delete this, but I feel like we need to keep it because it's based on the top. Um, let's see. I still like the 8490. We're going to keep that in play. We're going to remove this. Um, see. Hmm. That is about 26 down. Only problem I have with this one. So, unfortunately, this is the European Open today. So even though it's a Monday, it is kind of a valid level. I'm cautious about it because again, you see whip, you see a piece here, a piece higher, a piece higher, a piece higher, a piece higher, and then a base and finally took off. So there's some buyers in that level. I don't think it's an area though I'm willing to go long from just because it kind of kicked back. It went up, it went down, it went up, it went down, it went up and down. And it was consolidated in, so it was kind of chewing in both directions. Um Probably the and again, I'll move this down. Probably more this area would be where I'd be looking for. And again, there's a little base here, but it's not really, really clean. I'd say probably that level is where I'd be looking for a bounce. And again, it was a decent push. It did it about 10 o'clock. It's a US base push. So, the original zone was formed at about 10, 11 o'clock originally. And then, like I said, 3 o'clock we bounced off of it. And then 10 o'clock we bounced off of it. So they're both US bounces. So right now, I would say again, you gotta be thinking that this is more of a sell level. Again, it's pushed it deep, so I don't know if I take another sell out of it at this point. But again, coming from that direction, assuming that you got short from that level, I would say that overall targets are down here at 85.13, um, with probably some hiccups here and here. You know, probably some probably from here and here. All right. Um, yeah, I don't think I'd go long until 85.13 though. I think 85.13 is where we go with it. It has and it looks like it's a lot. It's only 30 pips. So we could absolutely get back down there for tomorrow morning. And if we can take a bounce sitting right here, UK session open, that would be a decent level to kind of bounce off of. And again, last time it was there, US open, nice pop. Okay. Euro yen. All right, so Euro yen. We were looking for this to go long. Unfortunately, it never got down there. We had the level. It got close, but it just didn't get there. So again, we'll remove this at this point. I would say keep this on there as an area of interest as far as taking it for a long level, though. I would be a bit more cautious, and it's decent, right? But we're just literally channeling sideways back and forth. And you can see if we extend the old area of interest, that's exactly what it bounced off this morning of for the US session. The 129, or I guess it's actually really like the 130 level, right? It's going to be a psychological number. Let me see. What do we have European news this week? None. Hmm. Wednesday we got all the services. There's no like major. Hmm, sales here. Maybe a Wednesday. Hmm. Fortunately, it's a little bit too far out. Tomorrow mornings, there's not really French budget service. Italian service is not going to move it. German final services shouldn't move it either. Um, Maybe Spanish unemployment. I don't track Spanish unemployment. I don't think that one's going to be that big of a mover, unfortunately. Um, yeah, I don't think I'd take a long off that. It's an area to watch out for. I think if we base, unfortunately, I mean, looking for a short, it's only what 18 pips. It's not worth a short there. I think again, if we continue this across, we'd marked this one off last week. We are looking for a drop of that one. It was a decent level. The 129.54, I think, is really the first clear one. We know we got decent buying down here at 128.70, 128.74. Um, Yeah, I mean, as far as boxing this one off is great levels. I'll delete the area of interest. We're going to remove that now. If we want to put it in some type of a more of an aggressive short entry in there, for some type of a session open, we can put a level in here. Let's take this one. So I would say right now the current available trades on this one are a large spike up to 31. We take a short, 31.44. There's an aggressive short. I think this area bases, and again, potentially we can take a bounce off of it, but it's only kind of like a B rating. And if we're able to break through, there's a short from 129.54. If we can get to 128.74, I would say that that's a decent long as well. So just a couple different trade setups for the euro yen. Euro dollar, look at that. I love this spike. So there was a move from last week. And again, it succeeded. Let's pull these off just to clean the charts. Um, Boom. We got the break. There's the aggressive. Let's pull that across. Look at that. We knew we were going for the break. It broke and then came back through and was the other side. It was open. Open is kind of insane. Um, it's funny. It kind of went right there. Let's see. Obviously, we don't need knockouts anymore. It's actually just two pieces. Let's do that. Let's pull this across. All right, there we go. Really, I mean, if we're talking downside, this is not a level you want to trade off of. That's where there's an open, there's buyers in there, but I mean, you're not going to be able to really draw on like a level of risk in there. It's always great when it gaps there, so you got to watch that level. It's decent for a target. So if you're looking for shorts in here, then yes, you could take, you could find some type of a target, but I would get out before you get to this level. Again, reason why we know there's buyers in there, right? The price didn't open here. The buyers stepped in there. So it'd be a great target to the downside. And again, we are technically in a downtrend. We have the lower highs at this point. But is it a great entry? Not so much. I would say that I'd probably be willing to step in here again if we can get it. Again, it's a psychological number right at 19. Particularly if we can get it over to here, right there. Actually, hold on. Yeah, it's the right one. Right there would be the UK Open. That would be a decent level where I'd be willing to take this one short. And again, today with all the dollar weaknesses we've seen, I definitely could, again, I do believe that we will get a reversal. We've seen it almost every single week where we have one trend from the dollar and then the next day we have the exact opposite. I'd be looking along somewhere on this one. And again, I think this is a decent one to mark off on your radar, right? Um, to the downside. All right, there we go. And that's coming in right at that 119 mark. Pound yen. So pound yen, we got the breakthrough. There was one target, two target was sitting right there, right? I'll remove this one now just to clean this up from last week. I would say that let's bring this across. This is still a valid short. That's at 153.54. Still have a level lower. Let's keep that on the radar, and that is 153.36. Um, hmm, there actually looks to be. Hmm, this is kind of an aggressive short. I kind of like how that came down and base through and then pulled in and pulled back and dropped. How much is that? Let's see. 16. Let's see. Hmm. Give up. 76. So it's a day's ATR from the top. Mm. Yeah, I think I'm waiting until this area. Before we get into a decent long, I think 151.36. That's the last time we've had a test on there, and we've seen it before. Um, there is one in here, but let's see. All right, because I know some of you guys are aggressive. So here, I'll give you the aggressive top and bottom. Go. Let's bring it down to a 30. Just because you guys love it. I know you guys like the aggressive stuff. I'd say that there we go. Oops. Send this across. All right, there we go. So we have short up there at 153.46, 153.05. Long entries potentially at 151 and 73 and 151.36. The 136 I like better. That's a bigger level that we looked at. I'll leave that down there for Harry Potter later on. But those would be four potential setups. And again, if you want to match up the knockouts, call spreads, whatever you want to do, it's decent. And like I said, it's pound yen, so it can move, but it's got 80 pips to go today on a Monday. I don't know that we're going to be able to get that far. Pound dollar. Pound dollar is basically just flat. We talked about having profit targets at 39.05, and again, you can see how it's chopped around. I mean, I can box it off if you want, but you guys get the idea. Boxed it off, boxed it off, boxed it off here. It was a top, a base in there again, a base again, and a base again. So, um, you know, area that we expected it to go to. It did. It's finally out. So let's remove some of these now. Take this one off. Could we use that level again? I would say be cautious with it. We know we had one test there. There's two. There's three. So we are kind of getting up in that four range. Could we draw a new level? Right here. Yeah, we could. I'd say there's a bit of an area of interest in there. It's obviously been drawn there a few times. It's got a little bit lower risk. I wouldn't take it for like a number one entry where it just tags it and goes. It would definitely be something where I'd be looking for somewhat of a confirmation off of it. It is a decent amount away. It's about 70 pips away. So again, we've seen I mean, in most of the pairs we've seen dollar weakness, right? This is more dollar strength, but I would say it's more just sideways movement, kind of a little whipsaw back and forth. So, I still think there's a decent level up there at 140. If we're able to kind of base and break through the 140.23 level, there is a long. Other long opportunities, again, profit target for any shorts, I would say. I would go here. Let's change it to this, change it to red. And then again, I would say next time we have buyers, and again, this is an area of interest, but I would probably mark the buyers off in that level there is where next time I'd be willing to go long. So we got some space. And like I said, this is an area of interest. So oops, hate when I clicked on it. That's an old level. They kind of established a new area of buyers there. So right now, top and bottom, I'd say 139.74 at the 400 at the 140 mark and the 137.83 mark. Okay. Dollar CAD. All right, so dollar cat, I talked about this in Nadex. We were looking for a base and a break. We got the base, we just didn't get the break of it, and again the pullback. So when this one does come down, and again right now, I wouldn't really say that this is trending. Since the European Open here, price is now 5 pips away. So in 7 hours, we've moved 5 pips. Just not a whole lot of direction. Todd's joke today was the reason why this was going down was because the U.S. women's soccer team lost to the Canadian women's soccer team. I was like, I don't know if people are going to get that Todd. I was like, yeah, it's not the best Olympics. Um, but I think this trade is still valid. I don't know if it's going to hit today. Like I said, it's just chopping literally back and forth. We still need about 30 pips to go. Could this move 30 pips today? Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't think, let me see, what type of Canadian news do we have this week? Let's see. Friday is with the employment changes good. Mm, manufacturing PMI may actually give it a little bit of a kick tomorrow. Let me see how's that one been trending? Hmm, that was not hard. this may give us. I mean, again, there's just lack of CAD news. That one may give us a little bit of a bounce, but I think this is a decent level. As I said, it's not a today thing. I would be very surprised if it comes down and gives us the trade setup. But again, set yourself an alert. If it comes through and busts it, then there you go. That would be my entry on it. But right now, we don't really have much more than that. Um, Dollar Swiss, there's that level. It's just literally chopping back and forth. We mentioned the short there. Again, I think it continued to go lower. Where this one is, again, there is a level of basing where buyers stepped in, but yeah, I would say until we get down to that 90 range or even the 89, 92 ish range to be more specific, we're in a racetrack. So if this one continues to fall, it's let's see, it's about 50 pips down. I would say that I'd stay bearish this position. But there was our base and our breakthrough. And again, if you didn't catch the initial push, there was your second push, and there was your drop to the downside. So again, I mean, you had that entry there, as well as you had. Oh, I got to move it this way. That entry right there. Both of those were. This one wasn't, but you had both of these in, so you were out in all three of these entries to the downside. So it's been decent, right? But right now, there's not a long till 89.92 where we can continue to take this short. But again, it's probably going to be pretty choppy. Dollar yen, another one of those ones that just has such a funky open. Now, it opened way below. It didn't open really along. We actually had a 109.31 break, Harry, like kind of a Harry Potter to the downside. It got past it. So I would remove the Harry Potter at this point. We can change this to kind of more of like an area of interest, and it is. It held here. It drove right through it, and again, it is starting to kind of turn here. Um, it's an interesting level. I mean, the way that when the level was created, it kind of tagged it, pushed to the end, tagged it again. So we were looking for a break. We were waiting for it to kind of come down during the day. Now this one stabilized. You hate when it gaps past because that's what you're waiting for is to find the buyers below. Right now, what I would say is again, we have those hidden buyers that are going to be sitting right there, right? Um, I'd say 109.08 is probably the next level that I'd be willing to take that long. I want to see what the hiccup looks like or if it just slices through. I would say for today I'd be more bearish focused, or I'd be more bearish minded. With the pullbacks going lower, 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 lower. Again, it is definitely inside of a downtrend. When the dollar does actually have that strength kick back into it, though, that's where we should see this one roll a bit. But right now, it just kind of it's rolling in that downtrend, trying to find some buyers. So I would say if you're bearish, you're in a good position. And again, could you have played this parabolic retracement? Absolutely. And you're almost back to the origin of the move, which is also going to be the red line. Okay. So not much we can get into this one. Looking at let's go. Oil is kind of down a bit more, and again, we're just I'll mark this off. Let's see where we at here, there, to there, to there. So it's kind of an inside day right now, right? Um, yeah, I mean, oil bounced where it should have, right? So I mean, if you had caught this early morning trade as of what 6:30. If you caught the 6:30 trade, you were up 3 to 1. You guys can see here. And again, we marked this green level off last week, so this is not like a level I just stuck on here. There you go. You can see you're out with your 1 to 3. I would say right now, wait for it to come back down. I mean, we could potentially take another long off that level. It's not bad, but there's not really necessarily a major driver in oil right now. Yeah, I mean, I would say again, bearish today. I think this one stays in the red. Is it going to continue to break all the way down to $70 today? I don't think so. I feel like it's going to be a bit smaller. Some of the PMI data for tomorrow won't be bad. But again, the setup on this one would have been taking this one long here for the morning. I'm more hesitant, and again, there is two little buying levels right below it. So I think at this point for oil, I don't, there's not necessarily anything that is screaming at me that's a great trade, right? We could form a new level up top for additional shorts, right? We could put one in there. And again, you could have taken that as a profit target for the original long. Actually, let me remove this one. There we go. So you could have taken it, right, as your profit target slash reversal. And again, it had almost a 1 to 3 in the other direction. But we're just more or less consolidating. Right now we are, let's see. Um, From the open, we are about 50 cents different, right? This one has a daily ATR of about $1.50. We're at 50 right now, so again, it's one of the less volatile days. And right now we're at, it's 10 o'clock. It's an inside day right now, so um, it's kind of already done its retrace, right? When we draw these, right? We had down and then it came back up, and that's how it restarted the new session. So I would say bearish, but I don't have a trade setup for you guys on this. Gold, gold is kind of boring. Again, we're just in that area. We knew that it was there. It's bounce. It came below, stabilized, popping a little bit, and this is what we've seen the last month and a half, 2 months. Monday morning has been flat for gold, and then the U.S. trader sends it up. It seems like overall the U.S. trader is the one. When we look at kind of where we were, right? When we punch this down, these are UK opens. UK open, we punch back up with the US trader. Punch down, US trader. Punch down, US trader. Punch down. This one was basing. This one punched up, and then the US trader counterbalanced. Punch down, US trader took it higher again. So right now, with it being flat, I would say more up than anything else. Obviously, there's a little bit of selling here, as well as a little bit of selling up in that level. Let me change that to let's just go solid, and let's change it back to black. But right now, I would say that there's not really much more. I would just such this is what this is what the angle looked like for the European session, and it just really wasn't much. So I'd say 1830 is decent. If you're looking to get into something aggressive, depending on if we were at a session switch, 1822 is probably not bad. And then I still like buyers down at 1795. It's a level that you guys can see it's been tagged a whole bunch of times, so it's been a good level. Silver. So silver, we were looking for this to continue to drop down and grab the 25.16. It just is kind of chop back and forth. I would say there's not really a lot of great levels here. We could still use this one up top, and that level comes in at 25.72. I would say the targets for any of these shorts are really the first area where I'd be really excited about looking for longs would be the 25.16. Um, Kind of one of those things. Yeah, 25.16 is where I'd be really looking for any type of a decent long. And even in that case, I would like to have some type of a confirmation bounce off of it. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is these are our strongs 24.30, 25.70. Again, we got a larger time frame. If we break through the 25.87, we'd be into that. Pull these off now. I don't need these. Um, yeah, so that's what we got. It's nothing super exciting with silver. All right, let's go over the indices. Drop down to the 15 minutes. There we go. So open was not that exciting, right? It was literally a spike up. Look at these first two candles, the 9:30 and the 9:45, and even the 10 o'clock, right? Whip up, whip down, and it's just been sideways in there. So, you know, the dotted line on this is the 4,400. We obviously have some selling up top, right? We talked about a small little level up top here. I'm just going to do this so I can use boxes. It's funny. There's your area of interest. Look at this. Base, base, base. Boom, 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 boom. All the way through. You could have put a small level in here. And that was actually the UK Open. So we'll mark that as a potential level. But right now, it's like, oh, I would say down more than anything else, right? Every time it peeks its heads up, it gets hammered back down again. 30 to 1. Let's say be there for longs. Oops. There we go. Yeah, 43.83. At least it's tested on a one candle base and then got front run on it. And then again, that would be a 43.83 back up to that 4,400. But right now, I would say that this is just, it's up from where we opened, but I would say it's not. I mean, UK session, yeah, UK session is here at 3. There's our UK session, right? It has been this. So, yeah, I would say I look for this one to probably roll and get a little negative. And 4,400 will be some buyers in there. But I would say next time there's decent longs is 43.83. NQ. So NQ earlier today I talked about 4,400 with what's it called with Nadex. You can see that we were sitting up in a level here above it. And again, we talked about this being a downtrend, 3 touches, and yeah, I mean it's From the open, from where we talked about being in a downtrend since the UK Open, it's just continuing to push down, and I would say I agree with that one. Um, I think it continues to push a little bit lower, especially if we can't stabilize here. It did grab some buyers where kind of a test had come in, so yeah, definitely I see this 14,936 level again tested here and tested here. The next level of testing actually would have been this area of interest right here. Again, that would be kind of the next short target there. And then again, the next one is probably a bit lower, and this is a decent area. I like that. I'm okay with this level. Okay, would be maybe look for this to kind of again we'll see what it does with this level. If it ignores this level completely, then yeah, I could see maybe some buyers coming in right here. No, I was like, wait, why is it right? 14,867. Okay. Okay. Um, yeah, I would say that's it. I I would look for this as being a target for a short side. Let's see what it does with the base, and then if it hits 14,867, then we'll go long. All right, so that's decent there. Let's go to YM. So YM came up and kind of snagged that level. It looks like 930. It spiked up. This has been an area that we've watched before, and we've talked about all the different traps here. Like every time it breaks, whoops, not that one. Talk about traps here, traps here, traps here, and look at that. If I put a horizontal line, I'll just actually let's do look at that. There is your break above that level, and then bam, got slammed back down again. So it's been trap, 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 trap. The man, this 34,767 has been hit so many times. Um, let's see, we'll bring this across. Hmm. I don't think I like it long from here. I don't think I'm willing to take a long from here either. Let me see. Let me go back in time and see that one. Let's do. Yeah, look at this. There's all your stabilization. So it's a yellow area of interest, right? There's your base. There's your touch, touch, all this base. Bounce, touch, touch, came through. It ignored it here, but then again, front run, touch, 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 but it pushes to the brink. So yeah, I think I'm gonna let that one go this time. And again, that may be like an aggressive bounce off that level. Um, Go ahead, mark it, I guess. Keep track of it just because we don't want to confuse the dots. 34,687. It bounces off the thing again. I'm gonna be mad. And it's hit it so many times. That's a hard one because, like I said, this is a lower one. It has hit it a bunch more times, and there's a little base right below it. Like you can see the base right here. Um, 34,687. Yeah, I'd say that's the next decent buy. I don't know that I want to mess with this one whatsoever. I'd like it to come up not in a spike and give us a decent top. But right now, we don't have a decent top on this one. Um, again, not surprised by the trap here. YM is the strongest right now. It's up 5.56. So this one has the chance of going the highest today. We'll see. I like to get this one up. Which more can we move? Let's see. 360 is what we started at. 360 is Yeah, so 35,200 is our next major. Actually, let me change this to black. That's our next milestone. Okay. We'll see if we can get through this level. I'm gonna adjust this from last week too. Yeah, so we'll see. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this one as much. I like the longs if we can get back low. And again, I'd be willing to take some shorts up here at 35,200. All right, so the Russell. So Russell, we were talking about if we could break through this 2255 level, and again, we needed to get a pullback to it. We got to get some basing. I would say this qualifies as kind of the basing and the level that we're looking for. We were looking for the short, but again, after we got the short here, that trade is done and over and out. Now we've hit it again, which again, great sign. We've hit it here once. Now we've hit it again. Now we're hitting it 3 times, and we're starting to get a base. This trade is again definitely setting up for kind of a push through, right? Um, Again, don't have it yet. It is not triggered yet. Remember, we need a base above that line before we can go long. It's not there yet, but I would say we're well within range. It is up 1.1415 or 14. It's kicking back and forth. So I guess of the four indices, this is the strongest, but we need it to go higher. As you can see, the next big zone up top is going to be the 2277. So it is set up in a pretty good decent area. So kind of like this one. We need this one to be a little bit more. So get your Russell, get those Russell cheers going. Do the rain dance for the Russell and see if we can get this one to go higher. But I do like how it is basing here and it's peaked its head up and gave us another successful hit. So next hit through would be number 4, and that tends to be where we see this one pop through. So I think this one is set up for a long, and I'm cool with it. And again, just in the economic cycle, the way we are, this one should again. Typically, the small caps are the ones that recover. Once recovery happens, they tend to burst the highest. But again, if things get bad, they're the first one to go. So again, more volatile than what the overall kind of general, big three would be. But yeah, looking to go long above 122.55 once we get a little bit of a base above and a pullback. All right, that's pretty much it. I mean, Tesla is just rocking. Look at this thing. We talked about buying it down here. And again, we were looking for that bull call spread to make it cheap. It did give us one pullback and touch it again at that level of 625. But look at this. We were all the way up here. We are $100 more per share, right? $100 more per share. And if you're wondering why this popped, it's because Bezos's complaint or whatever it was dismissed. That Elon shouldn't have gotten the contract. Elon got the contract, and they kept the contract with Elon. So that's why this is up as much as it is, 5%. Up $35 today. So Bezos unfortunately did not win that one. But Apple's up. I think Amazon is up as well. And if you're looking, it's kind of mixed on here. You're seeing Bitcoins are down, Ethereum is up a decent amount. AMC is up 8. Again, I don't think anything is really earth-shatteringly different with AMC or GME. They're both up good for the day though. But even Dogecoin is up back over $20 again. It's up 0.4%. So they're kind of mixed. Natural gas is having another big day, up 2%. It's amazing how volatile natural gas has been lately. You see, oil has been very, very plain, but look at these swings. I mean, again, this is a 15-minute chart. I'll bring it to a 30. It's not cheap. Look how big these swings are. I mean, it's just been going back and forth. So, NG has been a trader if you guys are looking at it. And then again, TLT is, again, it seems like once US session starts, it keeps driving up each day, right? Here was a down, but again, up, little down, up, base, up again. So, it's been not bad. Let's see. Dollar is, again, we're kind of stuck at that same level, right? Here, top, base, bottom, base, bottom. I'd say the dollar is actually looking like it wants to roll back down again. But I would say that it probably gets some buyers down here. So, all right. So that's it for today. There's not really a whole lot else going on. I would say, obviously big news wise. Let's do all, take that off. Boom. Crank this. Go for tomorrow. Again, I think Aussie is going to be a great trade tonight. And then I think New Zealand late tomorrow. But again, we'll talk, from now till then. We can discuss it then. You can see everything. I mean, again, Aussie dollar is the big one. I love the fact that this is rallying higher because God forbid they mention Delta and maybe having to continue things. I'd be shocked if they were like, "Yep, us closing down those 4 cities. Delta is under control. We got no problems. We out." Right? I doubt that's what they're going to say. And again, if they bring up more negativity, I think that brings that one right back down again. As well as, again, we're seeing dollar weakness. Dollar strength will typically kick in sometime in the overnight. So those two are lining up perfectly for this to kind of reverse tomorrow back to the downside. So all right, let's go and do the giveaway. Debbie won last week, so Debbie is going for her 50 pip chips, right? Debbie's going for her 50, right? We got 9 people in, 10 tickets. Who do we got in here? Debbie's one. Uh-oh, Ernest must be Zoom schooling it again. I don't see Ernest. Bezos will take you to the edge of space, maybe, and Elon can take you to the moon. Honestly, if Bezos wanted to, he could. I don't know. It's I think it's apples and oranges, Ross. One of them was designed for just passenger flight back and forth, but like if Bezos wanted to, I feel like Bezos could. I've got a feeling about today. Will's like, I'm feeling it, baby. I'm feeling it, but he only did one. All right, let's close the giveaway. Let's see if Will's feeling is good or if it's not so good. Winner of today's drawing is Silent. Go Silent. Silent. I love how you like sneak in right at the end all the time, and I love how you like throw these in there. it all guy never says anything, right? Silent is so quiet in the channel, and then there you go, bam. I feel like that's what is that the feeling that you had, Will? That Silent was going to win when you saw his name at the top of this list? I feel like that's what it was. No, it's not rigged. Silent is actually, like you said, he's not here every day, but when he's here on a regular basis, he tends to get some wins too. And again, he creeps up in here. Where is Silent? Right here. Look at this. I mean, it's not like the guy's not here. He's putting some work in, and like I said, he's been pretty good with the wins there. So Ernest is keep in mind. That feeling must have been gas related. Yeah, it could have been. Could have been. Yeah. So, all right. With that said, guys, I'm out of here. A little bit early day, 2 minutes, but no big deal. So again, watch these things tonight. Early morning. Again, this is done for the day. Let's see, what was it? It's a little bit lower. Again, that's not going to affect the dollar too much. But I think tonight, Aussie, watch this Aussie thing tonight. I think this is going to be a good one. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. You guys take care. Have a great one. And thanks for coming today. Welcome to August.